What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Chopping It Up with P. I'm your host, Pierre, with the series Love Island Talks. As you can see, I'm alone. No co-host today. They've all decided to leave. I'm joking. But it's just me today. It's better, Y'all gonna have a fun time with me regardless. You know what I'm saying? We don't need anyone else. But this week's been interesting. A lot of different things happened. A lot of different things took place. A lot of things came to light. Um, So there's a lot of different things I want to talk about with the dynamics that the villa has taken upon. So a lot of thoughts this week for sure. Um, so we left off on the episode where Megan Thee Stallion was there, Coral and Amora came out of the cake. Um, so TT says Sincere needs to be exposed. Um, she's completely right. I think we Sincere is just sincere. There's not a lot of words for him, but Sincere is just sincere. TT said he needs to be exposed, and she's right. She claims he's the most toxic one in the villa based on the way he moves. Could I agree with that to a certain extent? Yes, just because of the way he moves and stuff. But yeah, TT does say he needs to be exposed. Do I believe that's true? Yes, to a certain extent for Melanie to know so she can make her decisions based on, you know, what she knows. Carl does pull Naya for their first chat. It seems to be going well, and they're gonna explore. It's good because it's time to put this Casey thing to bed. It's time to just put it in the past, and leave it in the past. It's been time, so it's good that Carl got to come back in and got to, her Carl got to like really get to have a new fresh start and just like Casey and TT do their thing, and then just move on. That's what needed to happen for sure. Um, Melody says she's gonna step back and see how quote unquote sincere fixes this. She has no energy left for it at all. And I completely understand because, once you're trying to make some shit work, you're putting in the work and then someone just keeps doing shit that keeps deteriorating it. It just keeps getting slapped back in your face. And to a point, it gets annoying. It gets frustrating, and you just have no energy for it. You're like, just fuck this. Like, I'm just, I'll move on. I'll move on. In this case, she doesn't want to move on. She just wants him to fix it. So I understand what the way she's feeling. Completely valid. Um, we have our first day of the season. Trinity and Bryce go on a date. Um, kind of the jet ski or the boat kind of thing. It was great. Did it take a little too long to get to the date for the first day of the season? Yes, but they've truly earned it. The couple, so they've truly earned it. Took a little while. Usually in the earlier seasons, they've gone on first days way earlier, but it's okay. This season was a little different for sure. Last two seasons were actually very different. So, Parmita and Corbin haven't talked about being closed off. Now, is it early? One could argue. Um, so that's another thing. Is it early? Yeah, but when you know, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, Bryce asked Trinity to be his girlfriend. Um, that that was a long time coming. I think he waited for the perfect time to do it on the boat and everything. So that was great. That was great to see. That was great to see the first couple to, obviously like going forward for the outside, asking them to be his girlfriend. So that was great to see. Trinity and Bryce did grow on me at one point. So Sean, you were right. Jenna and Gall do end up breaking it off. Was it something that I saw coming? Yes. Um, was it time for it? Yes, because Gall again, I don't think Gall was really interested in Jen as he said, or as it seemed, if I'm being very honest. Um, so it was just time for it to go. It was just time for it to like just be done with. And Nia and Casey have a closure talk. Now they have this closure talk. I think they have yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about. They had that. I think they had one or two. I'm not sure which one this was, but I think this was the first one. They have a closer talk, and they get to move on from the situation, and then they get to move on with the new couples, which was great. It needed to happen. A lot of shit was miscommunicated. A lot of shit wasn't told right or manipulated, you know what I'm saying? So this was a good thing to get off, you know. They got it done, they can move on, you know. They can be cordial or whatever. Now going into the next episode of movie night, one thing I've noticed, I want to say before we start about movie night, one thing I've noticed is the way these women just keep calling these men out their names. Now, with that being said, both parties are not angels. The women have done stuff wrong, the guys have done stuff wrong. Miscommunications, whatever the case may be. No one's right in this situation because again, y'all are both not fucking angels. You both sides have done stuff wrong, you know. But there's a way to address something and come at people without it being disrespectful, without having to call them by their names, without having to say this, and that, and that. I don't think is what's happening. I don't think they're trying to be like that. They're just say whatever they're saying. Now, with that being said, if it was the guys doing that, it would have been a problem. Let's call it spade a spade. If there was guys doing that, it would have been a big problem. If the girls doing that, nothing's going on with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, could you call it a double standard? I guess, you know what I'm saying? But again, there's a way to talk to someone, there's a way to combat someone out with enough decency to be respectful. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think that's really, it's just that's just what it is. I don't think they're trying to be respectful at all. So um Kenzie needs to leave. At this point, I thought Kenzie needed to leave the villa. Um she's done made a grown man cry, killed friendships. It's like how many times do you need to explore until you find what you're looking for? She's been here since day one. We're at day 30 now. And you're still exploring. We've been through Costa, through bombshells. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point. It really gets to a point where it's like lock in. So and even Jen told her she wouldn't be friends with her if it wasn't in the villa. And I wouldn't be friends with you either. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the way you're moving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not being honest about a lot of things. Always having two different connections at the same time. It's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't I don't really see I don't really see what the problem is with her, if I'm being very honest. I know what the problem is, but I just don't know how she can't see that. You know what I'm saying? Here's the way it is. First and foremost, in movie night, first of all, sincere shit was way worse than Casey. Like, let's get that shit out the way. Sincere shit was very much more crazier than KC shit. But when KC shit went on, he got gigged up on. Again, he wasn't allowed to talk, wasn't allowed to get his point across. He got gigged up on. But when it was sincere, which was way worse than KC, they're all, yeah, I understand. They're all nodding their head and Ian's holding, yeah, yeah. I'm like, bro, y'all see this motherfucker manipulate like in the same day. His shit was way more insane than Casey was, especially with Soul. So he gets nothing. No, 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 like, fuck you, da, da, da. Just understanding. But Casey gets all the bullshit. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's just, I think at this point, it's just trying to, like, jump on this nigga whenever they can. Um, and I was chatting. I can't even lie. And I was chatting it up. She called Casey a bitch. She kissed Carl the first day and asked him to share a bed with him. And the girls cheered. So again, when she does it, it's fine. When KC does it, it's a problem. And what's crazy? Production is very. I don't know why production did this. Y'all are some very messy motherfuckers because you left her clips out. Y'all did not put her clips in this shit. Because if y'all put her clips in this shit, then like it would have. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean they did low key because that's what Cecile was trying to say that like regardless of whichever clip went first, it would have been the same emotions. I understand that, but the real shit that she did was not put in there. I would be honest. The real shit she did was not put in there, and we all know that. We all know that. Jen and everyone else is finally starting to see Kenzie for what she is, an attention seeker. You saw the way she moved. Caleb saw it. He said his piece. Dylan saw it, felt the way he felt about it, let her know what it was. All the girls saw it, and let her know what it was. They didn't even really let her know what it was. They was like, yeah, baby, la, la, la. Like, y'all weren't, being the friends you needed to be at the time. Make her understand that she needs to take accountability and stuff. So, Kenzie's just free her. Casey's clips were bad, but again, he isn't allowed to speak. Trinity is sitting here asking questions, cutting him off and shit. Where was that shit when fucking sincere shit came up? Sincere shit was worse than KC shit. Where the fuck are the questions? Trinity wasn't asking questions to Sincere the way she was asking questions to KC, but Sincere shit was worse. And y'all were just nodding your fucking heads. So if you're gonna do it to KC, at least do it to Sincere. Be fair. You know what I'm saying? Again, at this point, it's just attack on KC at this point. Again, I'm not defending what he did or whatever the case is. I'm just saying, like, at least be fair about it. You know what I'm saying? But again, Casey isn't allowed to speak. Sincere, Zach, and TT backed up Casey and said that they didn't know what happened at Casa until movie night, which is true. They did not know what Casey did at Casa until movie night. So you didn't have a right to be mad or go off on him the way they did at the fire pit. It's completely true and valid. Y'all did not have to get mad at him and curse him out the way and to come out to him the way y'all did at the fire pit because you did not know what happened in the casa until movie night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, y'all just try to like for what? You know what I'm saying? If I'm being very honest, and Naya was mad she wasn't picked. That's what it is. And Naya was mad she wasn't picked. And I think that's why they all ganged up on him like that. Again, y'all did not know what he did until movie night. So at the fire pit, y'all did not have to come out. You did not have to come at him like that. Be honest. Be honest. Call it what it is, bro. Call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? And TT is right. Regardless of which, you would have been mad at him regardless. So it doesn't really matter whether he picked, like it doesn't really matter. You would have been mad at him regardless. So again, y'all did not have to come at him like that at the fire pit. Maybe at movie night, okay, cool, I understand that. You know what happened. But y'all just insinuated that he did what he did. That's not fair to him. You know what I'm saying? But again, they gig up on him, all that shit. And then at one point, Kenny even said, oh, they do it again. Come on, bro. This is the childish shit we're talking about, bro. Like, just, oh, God. But the one point I do want to say is she got in his face and screamed, got mad, and cussed. If that was KC, Peacock producers would have kicked them off that same exact night. Yes or no? If KC was the one that got in their face and, and screamed at Anaya the way she did to him, and got in his face, the producers would have kicked him off that night. That is a fact. That is a fact. So again, they can do that. Obviously, he can't. Not that he want to anyways, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to point out the facts. Again, Sincere's clip was 30 times worse than KC's, but he didn't hear any of it. The KC did. Again, y'all had no right to be mad at him until movie night. Y'all did not know what he did in Casa, fool. Y'all were just looking for something to be mad at. She wasn't picked, and that's what made everyone mad. That's what it is. Because you would have been mad regardless. You would have been mad regardless if he came out there or not, bro. It doesn't matter. You were already mad because of what you saw on the TV going into Casa. So you just insinuated for the worst. Y'all had no right to be mad at him at that fire pit. Y'all had no right to come at him like that at that fire pit. It's plain and simple, bro. It is what it is. And then talk about you'll do it again. Like, y'all is just childish as fuck. Like, being real, fool. Like, it's the fuck. Y'all had no right to be mad at this nigga until movie night. And it still came out like, bro, it's just whatever. Regardless of which, it is what it is. Again, since this clip was 30 times worse, he didn't get the end of it the way Trinity did on KC. She didn't even ask any questions. It's just like, okay, bro. Okay, we go into the movie night part 2. We see that Kenzie's a hypocrite. Her lines are finally being seen. How she lied to Caleb. How, we saw how Dylan took that, how he interpreted that. We saw how, she adjusted after that. She, seemed to be sorry. You didn't really need to do all that, but it is what it is. Kenzie at this point, I don't even know what to say about her, bro. She got that shit. Um, we did see that Sincere's clips with Amora are just as bad with Soul. I can't even lie. Sincere's clips with Amora are just as bad as the ones with Soul. They're not, Soul is still up here. Her clips with Sincere is still up here. But with Amora, it's not it's just as bad, low key. But I did see Sincere finally take accountability and say I'm sorry. So I'm it's that's one thing he needed to do, and he did. Um, Melanie did crash out. She's just fed up with it, as she should be. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense for her to be that mad and feel the way she feels. So yeah. One thing I do want to say about this whole entire thing is the guys have been really just like, yes, they've had their moments where they're like, oh, I don't give a fuck, but they've taken this with a lot of just like I don't know how to explain it. Like when these women are attacking you the way they are, for you to compose yourself and stand there and just take that shit and not engage the way they're engaging, calling them out their names and stuff. It takes a real man. You know what I'm saying? So that's respect because they don't have to come at you like that. You know what I'm saying? The next episode, Caleb said he does not feel appreciated and valued, and Jaden and him have a talk. Um, Talk, quote unquote, argue, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They have a talk about it. Again, he said he doesn't feel valued or appreciated. Is it true? Yes, Jay is not really doing shit to make him feel appreciated and stuff like that. So he has a right to feel the way he feels. Um, him going, him talking to someone about it is not a problem, but talking about it in front of her with other people is just stupid. I don't know what the fuck you were doing with that, but okay. Um, Sincere did plan a date. We see him starting to step up, showing that he really fucks with Melanie and stuff like that. So he did plan a date. We see him starting to really just lock down on Melanie and what he means to her and stuff like that. Um, there's a recoupling later that day. The guys do end up picking. Jen Jen goes home first. Was it time? Maybe. Um, but again, bro, it's just yeah. It was time. I guess it was time for Jen. So they recouple, and then after that, there is two more people that get to go. Kenzie picks Corbin and Parmita to dump. You know what? The dumping is not even a problem for me at this point. The problem is Kenzie picked Corbin and Parmita to dump and says it's a lustful relationship. Again, it's a lustful relationship. Kenzie, who does the split for fun 30 times a day, kisses everyone in the villa multiple times, who literally said a kiss is like a handshake. A grown ass woman. A kiss is a handshake. She's the one talking about it's lustful. She wants to sit here and talk about lustful. Kenzie wants to sit here and talk about lustful. If we're using the girl's premise from the dumping of Gabe, she should have been gone out the villa. We all know that. We all know that. But you're gonna sit here and try to be a hypocrite and tell Corbin, "Oh, it's a lustful relation." You're the last person to talk about lustful, so shut the fuck up. That's good. Like you should have been gone, bro. So at this point, it's like it's just noise. It's just noise. I don't know what the fuck Dylan's doing with that shit. He got that shit. But again, so at the end of the day, Amora, Gall, Jaden, and Caleb got dumped. It was inevitable. Jaden and Caleb have been having problems, and they're fairly new in their connection, so it was an easy pick on that. Um, Amora and Gall, obviously, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It was you just knew who was gonna go. You just knew he was gonna go. It is what it is. You know. Yeah. Next episode, they have the karaoke thing. Great. It was a great time for the Islanders. I finally got to see a lot of people smile. And it was an episode where it wasn't really stress. It was stress free for the most part, up until the end when America voted. And the chopping block was well. First of all, I don't know why Trinity and KC were. I'm sorry. I don't know why TT and KC were so surprised that they got picked. Y'all are a great couple. Y'all deserve to get picked. But more to that, the people that were on the chopping block were it was Corbin Parmita and Kayla and Zach. And then what's their names? Dylan and Kenzie won, so they were good. You know what I'm saying? So then they get to pick who they want to stay. The only people that picked Corbin and Parmita was Trinity, sorry, TT and Casey. Everyone else paid Zach. I mean, yeah, picked Zach and Kaden. Um, as soon as it was between those two couples, and I knew the Islanders had to pick, I knew Corbin and Parmita would go. It made sense. Like you can sense it from a mile away. It's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Kaden and Zach's been there from the jump, and Kata has built more loyalty and friendships with the girls. I would say the same with Zach, I guess, in a way, but more so with Kata. So it makes sense for them to pick them. If I'm being honest, that should have been a vote that was decided by America. That's just the way I see it. But that would have really worked because like they put them in a situation. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. They picked who they picked. Yeah, but as soon as they put them against each other, I knew who was going home, bro. Like it was inevitable. It is what it is. You move on, bro. But yeah. So again, what I do want to say for this whole week is just it's just the way it's just like I don't know, it's just the way they're coming at the men. You know what I'm saying? Again, we're not all perfect humans, especially even worse when you don't have your phone 24/7 and you're on a reality TV show. So, yes, we're not human, we're not perfect, we're not all angels. Everyone, no one's a fucking angel. We're gonna sit here and make mistakes. But there's a way to come at someone, there's a way to explain yourself, there's a way to um just there's a way to do all that without it being so disrespectful and conniving. That's what I gotta say. Again, they could do a really better job at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't be mad. I'm just saying the way you come at someone, the way you explain yourself, and the words you use, you can definitely be better with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I get it. It comes from a place of hurt. But again, you can definitely be better than that. And then the guys respected them for the way they're taking it. A lot of people were, a lot of other people wouldn't take it that way. Um, they would probably fire back and stuff, but the guys are taking it straight up like a man, not entertaining in the disrespectful part of it, just trying to get their point across, even though they're still being cut off and stuff like that. But and I and Casey do have that final closure talk again. I don't know what episode it was, but it was after the cake part. They had another talk, and I think it ended with a hug. You know what I'm saying? They got that close. They got that done, so that was great as well. Um, but yeah, so we'll see how this week goes for Love Island. But it's just what it is. But yeah, thank y'all for joining me today on this episode of Love Island Talks Week 5. I really do appreciate y'all for sticking through. All the links and social medias will be down below. And I hope to see y'all again next week for Week 6. Have a great day, great week. Stay blessed. See y'all.